Nestled in the heart of the Balkans, the village of Strumica existed for centuries as a quiet, unassuming corner of the world. Life in this rural Bulgarian community revolved around ancient rhythms. The seasons dictated the patterns of planting and harvest. Generations lived and died under the same sky, their stories woven into the fabric of the village itself. Yet beneath the veneer of ordinary rural life, Strumica held an undercurrent of something different. The villagers whispered of ancient energies that thrummed in the earth. They spoke of strange occurrences and unexplained events. Strumica, they would say, was a place where the veil between this world and the next was thin. It was into this atmosphere, steeped in folklore and whispers of the supernatural, that Baba Vanga was born. Her arrival in 1911 did little to foretell the extraordinary life that lay ahead of her. She was just another child born into the humble surroundings of Strumica. The villagers couldn't have known that this child, who would one day be known throughout the world as Baba Vanga, would come to embody the mystical heart of their village. Her story, inextricably linked to the enigmatic atmosphere of Strumica, was just beginning to unfold. As she grew, so too did the whispers surrounding her. These whispers, at first, centered around a tragedy that would forever alter the course of Vanga's life. Vanga's childhood was abruptly shattered by a freak accident. Sudden violent storms swept through Strumica, leaving devastation in its wake. The young Vanga was caught in the storm's fury. When the winds subsided and the dust settled, she was found alive, but her eyes were filled with sand and debris. Medical care at the time was rudimentary, and the damage proved irreversible. Vanga was left completely blind. This tragic incident, however, marked a turning point in Vanga's life. It was as if the loss of her physical sight had awakened another kind of vision within her. Vanga began to experience strange, vivid dreams. These dreams, she claimed, were not merely figments of her imagination, but glimpses into the hidden workings of the world. She saw events before they unfolded, heard whispers of things to come carried on the wind. At first, she kept these visions to herself, unsure of what they meant. As time went on, however, the clarity and accuracy of her premonitions became impossible to ignore. Word of Vanga's extraordinary abilities spread throughout the village and beyond. People drawn by curiosity or desperation began to seek her out. They came seeking answers, guidance, or simply a glimpse into what the future held. Vanga's fame grew steadily throughout the 1940s and 50s. The small cottage where she received visitors became a pilgrimage site for people from all walks of life. Politicians, celebrities, and ordinary people alike stood in line, hoping for a few moments of the blind prophetess's time. They sought her counsel on matters of love, health, and fortune. Vanga, it was said, could see into the deepest recesses of their hearts, revealing their hidden fears and desires. Her pronouncements, often cryptic and open to interpretation, were nonetheless imbued with an air of authority that left a lasting impression on those who heard them. As Vanga's fame grew, so too did the scope of her visions. She no longer confined her pronouncements to the personal lives of those who sought her out. Her visions now encompassed the fate of nations, the course of history, and the looming shadows of global events. Vanga spoke of wars and natural disasters, of political upheavals and technological advancements. Her prophecies, often cloaked in symbolism and allegory, were difficult to decipher at the time. Yet as the years passed, many of her pronouncements seemed to align with real-world events in ways that were both eerie and undeniable. It was this uncanny accuracy that propelled Vanga from the realm of local mystic to a figure of international intrigue. Section 4. Prophecies that shook the world. Two events in particular cemented Baba Vanga's place in the annals of prophecy. The first was her alleged prediction of the 9/11 terrorist attacks. Years before the Twin Towers fell, Vanga is said to have spoken of steel birds that would attack American brothers. While the exact wording of her prophecy remains a subject of debate, the chilling parallels between her words and the events of that tragic day sent shockwaves around the world. The second event that brought Vanga renewed global attention was the collapse of the Soviet Union. In the years leading up to 1991, when the once mighty superpower crumbled, Vanga had spoken of a time when the Great Bear would fall. These two prophecies, along with numerous others that seemed to foretell major world events, transformed Vanga from a local curiosity into a global phenomenon. Her name became synonymous with prophecy, her life a testament to the possibility that the future might not be as fixed as we believe. Books were written about her, documentaries were filmed, and her prophecies became the subject of endless speculation and debate. Vanga, for her part, remained largely unaffected by the fame that had been thrust upon her. She continued to live a simple life in her small Bulgarian village, receiving visitors and offering her cryptic glimpses into the future until her death in 1996. Section 5: Whispers of Doubt and Disbelief. Despite the undeniable impact of her life and prophecies, Baba Vanga's legacy is not without its share of controversy. Skeptics and critics have long questioned the validity of her claims, pointing to the lack of concrete evidence to support her alleged abilities. They argue that many of her prophecies were either vague or open to interpretation, making it easy to retroactively fit them to real-world events. Others have suggested that Vanga's pronouncements were carefully curated by the Bulgarian government, who used her fame to further their own political agendas during the Cold War era. The debate surrounding Vanga's authenticity often centers on the lack of written documentation of her prophecies. Unlike other famous seers such as Nostradamus, who left behind volumes of cryptic verses, Vanga's pronouncements were primarily oral traditions, passed down through word of mouth or recorded secondhand by those who knew her. This lack of verifiable evidence has made it difficult to separate fact from fiction, fueling the fires of skepticism and debate. Whether Vanga was a genuine prophet, a shrewd manipulator, or simply a product of her time and the unique cultural milieu in which she lived, remains a subject of ongoing discussion. Section 6: The Enduring Enigma of Baba Vanga. Despite the controversies and criticisms, Baba Vanga's story continues to captivate the imagination of people around the world. Her life, marked by both tragedy and the extraordinary, speaks to our enduring fascination with the unknown. The possibility that the future might be knowable, that some individuals might possess the ability to pierce the veil of time and glimpse what lies ahead, is a notion that has intrigued humanity for centuries. Vanga, with her humble origins and her uncanny pronouncements, embodies this timeless fascination. Perhaps it is the enigmatic nature of her prophecies, their open-endedness and susceptibility to multiple interpretations, that continues to fuel our intrigue. Or perhaps it is the fact that, despite the skepticism and doubt, some of her pronouncements seem to align with real-world events in ways that are difficult to dismiss as mere coincidence. Whatever the reason, Baba Vanga's legacy endures, a testament to the enduring power of mystery, belief, and the human desire to make sense of a world that often seems chaotic and unpredictable. Her story, like the prophecies she uttered, remains a puzzle waiting to be solved, a riddle that continues to whisper to us from beyond the grave.